Welcome to Anime Thoughts, where I, your anime thought, will lead you into discussion. Today's topic is the top 10 spring anime on Funimation. I make these just in case you're allergic to Crunchyroll, Netflix, or even Hulu. I can tell you're just as excited as I am, so let's just jump into it. Super Cub. The anime is something very unique that I feel markets to a very niche group of people. I, for one, appreciate the vibe they are going with. My whole life I've rode dirt bikes, ATVs, you name it. The one thing these vehicles have in common is the way they make you feel when you drive it. Learning how to use a clutch, figuring out why your bike won't start, the smell of gasoline or oil working perfectly in a compact machine, the feeling of anticipating a drive, or even the way the air feels brushing against your face. This anime brought back all those memories so perfectly and vividly that I absolutely have to put it up here. Basically, Kaguma finds herself in the possession of a small motorcycle that fills the empty void inside of her, and we're lucky enough to experience that change in her life. Zombieland Saga. Sakura is one of those main characters that die in the first episode, then proceed to get isekai'd into another world. Well, instead of that happening, she gets her decaying body resurrected for the sole purpose of becoming a pop idol. Quite the interesting plot, if I have to say so myself, but the show gets even better with the way they handle the comedy and really just all the little interactions they have with the people around them. It's still classified as a music genre anime, and I'm personally not a huge fan of stuff like that, but I believe it's a pretty decent anime and deserves a little recognition for its second season. So if dead singing zombie girls that are constantly hiding their secret from their fans sound like something you might enjoy, give it a try. Shadow's House. So I know I'm supposed to be the guy that tells you a little bit about the anime and my personal thoughts on each show, but I seriously don't know what's going on. Or I guess I don't really know what to expect for the plot. Everything is mysterious, confusing, and weird. The idea for the anime is very strange. Anyway, from what I can tell, there are two main characters, Kate, whom is a shadow, and the doll that takes care of her called Emilico. Basically, in this universe, these shadows are royalty and these human-like dolls are subservient to the shadows. From my best guess, you can expect to learn about the history of the shadows as Emilico has conversations with Kate. And to my knowledge, it's a slice of life that showcases a doll learning how to be a maid for her shadow master. Mars Red. At first glance, you may be overwhelmed with the very different style of animation and the super thick cinematic bars. And look, I can't blame you for thinking they are compensating for something by using big bars, but hear me out. It's actually super entertaining. It has Monogatari vibes, as in you don't really know what the hell is going on, you just know that you like it and want more of it. The first episode kind of messes with your brain as you try to piece things together, but just think of it as the introduction to the main character and how he handles things. The anime is about a branch of the government military called Code Zero, where they are tasked in taking out vampires as well as learning the truth behind the increasing number of vampires appearing with this type of artificial blood. Combatants will be dispatched. Listen, I wanted to hate this anime. I really did. I mean, the character design is fairly basic. The immediate overbearing fan service that I've learned to hate is shown within the first minute of the first episode. The plot is just as plain as the characters, but as the person that holds responsibility to find out if it's worth your eyeballs' attention, I held on and finished the episode.
I'm sorry.
The reason why Combatants Will Be Dispatched is a decent watch is because of the comedy. The comedy is a saving grace, so if that's what you need, then search no further. The anime is basically about Alice and Roku working for an evil organization that prides itself on its evil deeds. This duo is getting sent to an Earth-like world in an attempt to control the planet for its resources. Morati the Patriot Season 2. I have to say, when I first learned about Morati the Patriot, I certainly wasn't expecting much. I figured it would just be another fodder anime that we could ignore, but boy was I wrong. I absolutely love this anime. When I start a new episode, I'm so enticed by the interesting twists and curves they throw at us that 20 minutes go by in a flash. So the anime is based around the time when Great Britain judged people's ability on their social status instead of their actual ability to complete a task. Because of this, there is a lot of resentment between the nobles of the country and just the rabble that fills the streets. William Morati wants to destroy this fabricated elitism by getting rid of corrupt officials in very clever ways. It's super fun watching a villain as smart as the great Sherlock Holmes wreaking havoc on evil nobles. Vivi, Fluorite Eyes Song. Alrighty, so you know how earlier I talked about how I didn't like music-based anime that much? Well, this is also kinda classified as that. And look, I thought it was going to be nothing but singing non-stop, but singing is hardly the focus, at least so far it's not in the anime. You see, in this world, humans have created AI to do practically every entry-level job you can think of. Unfortunately, one day all the robots just frickin' snapped, murdering every human they could find in all kinds of gruesome ways. Vivi is one of those AIs designed purely to sing for people. Although she couldn't be more happier to do just that, she gets bombarded by a time-traveling AI that forces her to cooperate with them to change the fate of the humans in the near future. See, does that sound like she's going to be singing to you? The Saint's magic power is omnipotent. I really don't know how many more Asekai our little weeb minds can take. I mean, I hate how I love practically all of them. I mean, what's wrong with me? How can I be a sucker for such a simple concept? Anyway, this is yet another poor young office worker that has a difficult yet boring life. But then her life gets turned upside down. Not only did she get removed from her life randomly, but it was all by accident. You see, the summoning spell was only supposed to summon one person, not including CA. Due to the accident, she is completely ignored by the kingdom until one day she wanders off finding a new place to live with a bunch of magic-using alchemists. The anime is basically a day-to-day life of her finding happiness in the easy life as well as getting romanced up. Full Dive, the ultimate next-gen full dive RPG, is even shittier than real life. I understand that's a mouthful. Hiro can't stand the real world. To him, it's nothing but a bunch of letdowns back to back.
I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
All he could see are the negatives in his life, and due to this way of thinking, he chose to run away from his problems by playing dive games, basically games like Sword Art Online. A new expansion came out in the game that he's always been playing, so he really wanted to go to the store and buy it. Instead of getting the game, he is greeted by a super energetic sly woman that actually cons him into buying a 10-year-old dive game called Kiwame Quest. It turns out this game is the most realistic game he has ever played. He can feel pain, he can screw up relationships, he can even kill his best friend perhaps. He can pretty much do anything as long as he's skilled enough to get away with it. I really like the idea of the anime and I have high hopes for it, and that's why it's up here. Nomad Megalobox 2. So if I were to talk about season 2, I would be giving away a lot of spoilers for the first season. So I'm just going to paint a general idea here. The main character is Joe, and Joe is a really good fighter. He would constantly fight in underground tournaments where betting was the main source of cash for him. Sometimes he has to lose the fight just to rake in more cash, and he really hates doing such scummy stuff. So he decided he would enter the biggest tournament his country has to offer, and let's just say his life has never been the same again. Also, a really important thing about this particular anime is that the boxers fight with machines for arms, but Joe gets called Gearless as a nickname for, well, I'll let your imagination solve that mystery. Anyway, I'm sure this anime will be recommended to viewers for years to come because it's so good, so go check it out. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you haven't already tried subscribing, I heard it makes your hair shinier or something like that, so, you know, try subscribing. I have a Discord if you lot are interested, and I will see you weebs when I see ya.